Welcome to this episode. Actually, a new strand we're going to be doing of The Good, the Bad, and the Odd. We're going to call this The Good, the Bad, and the Telly. We're going to be doing a separate strand on TV shows, watching entire runs perhaps, or watching a whole series if they're a short run, things like that. What we're doing for this first one is we're embarking on a set of episodes to discuss the anime Attack on Titan. Hi, Sam.
Hey.
Okay, Attack on Titan. This was one you wanted to cover.
This
You've
was
seen
my
it before.
suggestion. I saw it as it was coming out. So.
Wow! When did it come out?
It was in 2013. It started. Coming
It's
out.
about a year, 2 years old, year and a half.
About a year old now.
Yeah. So you fancy going through it? We have done a bit of anime before, haven't we? I'm trying to think. We started Samurai 7, but we only watched a few of those. But you watch a fair bit of anime, would you say?
Yeah, I'd say I've watched and I sort of know my way around an anime.
Yeah, I haven't watched much anime. I've watched Cowboy Bebop, which I quite like, but it was a long time ago. And I watched Afro Samurai, which I really liked. And I kind of like Samurai 7. I wouldn't mind revisiting it one day, but we stopped anyway. So you've seen this before.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is talk about the first 4 episodes in this one. I will say that I am glad that you suggested it, because I've enjoyed it so far.
Yeah.
Definitely. It's very adult, though. So it has to be stressed. It's an adult show. In terms of the violence, really, it's quite extreme violence. Okay, so would you want to set the scene?
Okay, so the sort of setting is it's like this not really Middle Ages, sort of Renaissance era setting.
Yeah, the buildings kind of look like Shakespearean villages, don't they?
Yeah.
Elizabethan villages. Yeah, go on.
But humanity has kind of been corralled into these 3 massive walls. There's wall Rosa, Maria, and I think it's Sheena.
I can't remember. I know Rose and Maria, but I can't remember the other one.
But yeah, they're basically trapped in the entirety of the known human population has been stuck in 3 walls. They're sort of
they're walled towns, which are all themselves with part of this wall, aren't they?
Yeah. They're done that way so that they have to defend less area.
Yeah. But they're all outside, also within the walls on the non-town bits for farming.
Yeah,
and
there's
stuff
farmland, and there's some small towns dotted about the place.
Yeah, but they're not walled, are they? They're just towns within the area.
But they've been corralled into these walls by these huge man-eating, almost zombies.
Yeah, they're
Titans.
very weird. They look... They're human-like in the way they look, apart from they haven't got any genitals.
There's no genitals. They all look male. If you had to give them a gender, they look male, mostly.
Yeah.
And they eat people.
Yeah.
Unrelated.
And they've got vacuous expressions, like they don't even know what's going on. They're just acting. There's no emotional thing in there at all, really. No. An interesting setup. Anyway, yeah. So first episode.
So it starts with Eren Yeager waking up. Really, he wakes up after he's fallen asleep collecting wood. I think
a young lad, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what comes back into the town, has a bit of a chat with this soldier that he knows called Hans.
Yeah.
And
who he rebukes for not being a proper soldier.
Yeah,
he's an angry boy.
Yeah. Well, he does have reason to be angry later, but not so much now.
No, but he is angry.
Yeah,
because he don't think that they're
But we get this incredibly depressing bit where the Scouting Legion, which is a branch of the military that goes outside of the walls, come back, and a woman comes up asking after her son, and all they can give back to her is an arm.
Yeah, that's bizarre.
Yeah. Well,
but I guess it's something to bury, isn't it?
Yeah.
We don't really have to... I mean, I guess it's best to say this is spoilers. All right, this is spoilers. Let's just say we recommend the show, but really we're going to go into the details of each episode, so it's going to spoil it. However, I don't think... I mean, you've seen the whole thing. So far, nothing I've seen that I'm going to describe in the next 4 I would consider would spoil it for anyone.
No, not really.
It'll give you a feel for what it's about. There's no surprises or anything once you know the setup, really. Yeah, it's kind of. I mean, it's a very, very anime style. I know that's obvious, but it's really vanilla anime style. Look, the drawings are nice, and the animation is sometimes quite static, but sometimes quite. It's not a really flowing, brilliant animation like anime never is, really, is it? But it's got action and movement about it.
Yeah, you'll see where the budget for animation goes.
Yeah, I mean there are some really cool shots.
Yeah,
and it looks really nice. By the way, this is on Netflix US. We're watching it on Netflix US, and it looks like HD to me, but I'm not sure if it is HD.
Yeah,
it looks it though. Anyway, yeah, so sorry, I'll keep interrupting.
And one day, this massive titan sort of looks over the wall.
Yeah, it's enormous compared to the others.
50 metres.
Right.
The average titan is about between 3 and 15 metres.
Right.
This colossal titan is 60 metres.
Yeah, it can look. His head and shoulders are above the wall, aren't they, really? His shoulders
then it kicks a hole in the wall.
Yeah.
And lets all the titans in.
So the city has a massive attack, but they're not really well prepared for that kind of attack at all.
No one's prepared for this at all. The only people that have experience in Titan fighting have gone. They've passed through and they're exhausted either way. So and the best defense that they really put up is 4 or 5 cannons near the exit gate to stop them. The gate that leads to further into the human lands.
Yeah, they're not prepared.
Yeah, so Eren goes back to his parents' house to try and find his mother because their house is near the opening that the colossal titan kicked in.
Yeah. And it's quite a cool scene where he's running towards it, saying it'll be there, it'll still be something like that. It'll be all right. And he turns the corner and it isn't. Yeah, it's kind of quite tense.
It's just under a rock.
Yeah, and the mother's head and shoulders and arms are outside, so she can talk.
Her legs have been crushed, but she's not going anywhere.
Yeah, no.
And then a titan steps around the corner.
And they have to run away. They can't get her out. Even and Eren really goes mad. But Hans carries him away.
He goes to fight the Titan, but he just can't do it. He's too scared of it.
Yeah, and he carries him away, doesn't he? But Eren sees
honestly, I don't blame him for running.
No, it's all right. It's completely irrational. And the colossal Titan in particular looks weird because it looks like a skinned man.
Yeah, it looks kind of like... There was a thing at the O2 Arena where it was like cadavers that people had posed.
Yeah, and it did look like a cadaver. It looked like when I was a kid, you used to be able to buy models where you could make a body a transparent man, and all its organs were showing. This is a bit more than that. At least there's muscle over it. Yeah, but and you don't see its organs, but it's skin almost like it's been flayed, especially around the head.
Yeah,
he's green. He's like no lips or anything. Yeah,
it's kind of got like ligaments where the edge of its mouth would be, but beyond that, there's like no cheeks, no nothing.
Yeah. Anyway, so their Hans is pulling them all, running away, and Eren can look over his shoulder of what happens to his mother.
Yeah, she gets bitten in half at the very least. That we see. Yeah,
one of the Titans. Not the colossal, but one of the Titans eats her.
I think this one's been dubbed the Smiling Titan because
he is smiling. Yes, he's just got a vacuous grin. He looks a bit like the Joker in some of the artwork for the Joker. Man, this episode just flew by for me. Yeah. I was really shocked. I've been watching it for 24 minutes because it went so fast and it was so engrossing. It was a really good episode.
There can be like 300 episodes, it'll go like nothing.
Yeah, and that's amazing. I have watched a bit. I think I've watched Vampire Hunter D, is it? Or
no, you watched a bit of Hellsing.
That's it.
Hellsing is a beast of a show. But
yeah, we'll do that sometime. I'm enjoying this one.
We could do the films.
Well, we'll see. So that's the first episode.
Yeah,
so
episode 1.
Big setup. They're two boys. We didn't really talk about his sister. She's not quite.
They do explain it later, but she's like she's the children of family friends who have passed on.
Yeah, she's more family than friend or girlfriend, but she's not family, if that makes sense. But yeah, it's Mikasa.
Characters do make jokes about Aaron being her boyfriend.
Okay.
She just sort of blushes and goes, "He's my brother."
So it's Eren Yeager. So Yeager's interesting.
Aaron Yeager, Mikasa Ackerman, and Armin Alert.
Because Yeager's the term used in Pacific Rim, which is this is kind of reminiscent a bit of, big things attacking walls. It also reminded me of Monsters, that film Monsters, the big wall holding something outside. But there isn't that much of a film. It's not that similar. That's about it, really. Okay, so part 2. This is the fall of the village, which is the town they're in. Is it Shiganshina is the town they're in? So fall of Shiganshina part 2 was the second episode. Yeah. Go on.
And basically, this kind of carries on their escape from Shiganshina. It shows another new Titan, the Armored Titan.
Yeah.
That pretty much just runs through the wall. Yeah,
they're shooting at it. Nothing's working. It's just deflecting everything. Again, this grinning? I can't remember.
No, this had like an armored plate over its mouth.
Okay. But it's just running.
It retracted and then gave out this blast of hot air.
Yeah. So they breached the second wall there.
Yeah. And that basically sets up into a course of events that wipes out 20% of the human population.
Well, they're basically sent out into the wilderness, aren't they? Just because there's really not enough food to go around. So
they set up like a sort of militia army, send them out to fight the Titans, and out of 250,000, 200 come back.
Yeah. And this is over the course of a year.
Yeah.
So Eren and Mikasa are growing up. They've also got a friend called Armin, who I wasn't sure if it was a boy or a girl.
It's a boy.
But look,
there is a bit where they have to, they're trying to move a blonde female character, and they do disguise him as her to in a distraction over his.
Now, actually, in this episode, and I completely forgot about this, but in this episode, I'm just reading the notes on the episode, and I'd forgotten this completely. Eren has a dream in which his grieving father falsely gives him an injection.
Yeah.
And a key.
He gives him the key to their basement.
Yeah.
Which is it kind of becomes the big goal for the series, is get back to Shiganshina and find what's in the basement.
Yeah, but funny enough, that little sequence I completely forgot already. But I do remember the rest of it.
Yeah. And there's
they get a lot of grief from people about sharing food.
Yeah.
And Eren gets cross with another military police.
Yeah, he gets angry with one of the wall guards because he's kind of being douchey about giving out food to these poor people that just had their families slaughtered.
Yeah. There's a certain grim air to all of this. It sort of rings true, that kind of emotion. Yeah. Cool episode. It was not quite as memorable as the first one, though. No, having said that, the Armored Titan bit is very memorable.
Yeah.
I think the two episodes do flow into one quite. In the memory, they're just one episode, really.
Yeah.
Because that's what they are, Now, the next two form their own little.
The training areas. It's how
Humanity's Comeback is the name for part 1 and part 2 of this.
Yeah.
So Humanity's Comeback.
It's all about Eren training to join the military so he can go and fight Titans, or as he says, slaughter them all.
It's not just Eren, though, is it? And it isn't.
Mikasa and Armin join and sort of caught in his wake.
Yeah. But it kind of opens with a really nasty piece of work drill instructor. He's on everyone.
Shardis I love this guy. He's so funny.
He's mean as anything, but sometimes he doesn't quite react. He's not predictable. He's not just a caricature of this kind of character. He is proper drill sergeant for 11. There is a funny bit where, is it Sasha?
Yeah, a character called Sasha Browse. She's been nicknamed Potato Girl because she constantly steals food. Yeah,
she's obsessed with food, and she's eating a potato on parade, isn't she?
On parade, and he's like, "What made you do that here?" Yeah, it was cold.
I was hungry. It was that kind of thing.
Yeah. She just breaks off her and like, "You want some?" Hard cut to her running.
Yeah.
And it's like, and people talking about she's been out there for like 5 hours now.
Yeah, but she's not bothered by the running. She's bothered by the fact that he's told her she can't eat or drink. That's what's really bothering her. And she doesn't she have like some weird... There's some weird stuff showing how she reacts when food's presented to her.
No, that's just like a comedy bit.
No, I know it is, but it's weird, but it's funny. But you can go into this one. And then we get to their training regimen, which is kind of shown in... We did mention the intro titles, which are pretty damn cool.
Yeah. It's been basically considered one of the most like anime openings ever. It goes with anything. You can put that
because it's so generic.
Yeah.
Oh, I see the music.
It's generic, but it's brilliant.
It's very good. Yeah, the music's good, but the actual shots are good too. What we see on screen. But they learn it. Basically, they learn into fight in 3 dimensions using the omnidirectional
maneuver gear.
Yeah, omnidirectional movement in it or something like that.
Yeah,
ODM. They call
it. In the version I watched originally, and in the manga, it's called 3D maneuver gear.
Okay. And in there, so basically, their first bits of this are. Let me think.
They get sort of hung from the waist, and they have to keep upright.
And Aaron's having trouble.
Aaron's like no good.
Oh, basically, if you don't cut it, you get sent out into the fields to farm.
Yeah.
And pick rocks out of the ground and stuff like that. And he's really concerned because he can't seem to balance properly.
Yeah.
And he asks for some help. And they start talking a bit more. They've all encountered Titans in some way. It appears
sort of
those people.
Yeah.
Then the next day he thinks he's going to be kicked out if he can't balance, which is probably likely. But then they find the belt was defective, and in fact, the fact he could still do what he was doing with a defective belt was quite impressive. Yeah. Actually, and then when they give him a proper belt, he could do it. So he
can do it perfectly fine.
It impresses people by the fact he could have balanced with a defective belt. Which is kind of cool. It's really... I mean, it sounds a bit boring when we describe it like this, but there's some cool stuff in it. Number 4 calls it up even more when they actually start seeing their training, which is very cool. They're doing 3-dimensional sort of...
They're, like, grappling about, and it uses it to give, like, a sort of summary of the characters that are in it. So it's got Eren, Mikasa, and Armin.
Yeah.
And there's also Rainer Braus, who's, like, this big blonde guy.
Yeah.
There's Berthold, who's a tall guy who helps teach Eren like how to balance properly in the 3rd episode.
Yeah.
There's Annie Leonhardt, who's like a really good fighter, but she's antisocial, so she doesn't get along with anyone. But
we're getting quite a mixed crew, aren't we? And they basically, most of them, I think they all are in the top 10.
Yeah, they are the top 10.
Which means that they can choose where they serve. And Aaron finds out that a lot of them want to be in the military police, because that means they'll be in the centre, which means they'll avoid Titans.
Yeah, furthest from the Titans. And then he starts to call out the logical fallacy of having the people that are best at fighting Titans furthest from the Titans.
Yeah. And he's disgusted with them, isn't he? But he declines. Because he's in the top 10, you get the choice. And it sounds like virtually everyone chooses military police, but he says he's going to join the scout regiment, which actually go out and they're like a Harrier legion. You know, they go out to fight the Titans outside the walls. Yeah. It sounds cool. And his friends, Mikasa and Armin, join him, don't they?
Yeah. They're not in yet. They're still... like going through processes, but it cuts to a bit later when they're on top of the wall cleaning out cannons.
Yeah. And then you think that's kind of the end of the episode.
Yeah, they've like got this bigger thing that's like, we can do this, we can win, we can take back the land. Colossal Titan is right there.
Right there, looking over the wall right at them. And basically they get very disoriented, but they start to lead a counter-attack.
Yeah.
Didn't the episode end there?
Yeah. Hard ending of Eren standing on the wall going, remember me.
And remember, yes, that's right, because it is that Colossal Titan. It's the same one, isn't it? Very cool. I really enjoyed these. There's not much more to say than that, really. No. It seems to be very typical anime in its drawing style. But I think this is a really well put together. Is it held high in the anime community?
Oh, yeah. I think it's probably one of the most popular. I think it may have actually been the most popular for a while.
Right. Okay. Well, it's a solid one.
One Piece went back and took the top.
Yeah, I mean, some of these animes are massive, aren't they? In terms of not just popularity, but in terms of number of episodes. There's some that just go for hundreds of episodes, and they go on and on and on.
Bleach it recently released its 612th.
Yeah, you see, I just the sheer scale of that puts me off even starting that. But the fact this is 25 episodes, I'm with that.
I should show you some other short ones like Kill la Kill or Gurren Lagann.
Yeah, you should. Yeah,
they're sort of more like comedic action. They're a bit more comedy than sort of full-on fighting, but they're like balls to the wall awesome.
I kind of want to return the favour and sort of suggest Cowboy Bebop, because I think I like that. And of course, Cowboy Bebop in particular is meant to be a precursor to Firefly, which we've both watched and liked. It's a bit more anime than Firefly, obviously, but it's kind of fun. I'm really enjoying this one. I'm really looking forward to the next.
I just put up a list of episodes of One Piece, which is I think it's so far the longest going series of anime. How many episodes do you think it has?
500?
680.
Wow, One Piece. You know what? I think I've heard another podcast talking about this.
Yeah, it's about pirates sort of thing. Superpowered pirates.
They've talked about on Chinstroker vs. Punter, but I could be wrong. They certainly talked about one that was like 600 or something like that as well. And it's still going. That's my understanding of it. Okay, well, these 4 were very solid. Definite recommend from me on Netflix US. I guess next time, I had a look through it. The next episode list is a 9-parter, with a 10th being a recap episode of what's gone on so far. So basically, we've got 10 parts. So I suggest we cut those into 2 and we'll do 5 and 5 next time. Well, we'll see how we go. We might just go for all 10. I don't know. Logically, it makes sense to do 10, but the trouble is, watching 10 is you kind of forget what the first few were about. Having said that,
we can do 4, 5, and then ignore the 10th one because it's a recap.
I wouldn't mind watching recap ones. I kind of like those because sometimes there's a little bit of extra in recap episodes, isn't there? Like a bit of character development just to add something. So I'd rather watch them all, you know. So I think 5 and 5 myself. We'll see. All right then, that's it for this episode of The Good, the Bad, and the Telly. So it's bye from me.
Bye.